Ooh. Oh, now there it is.
Get a little weird with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Pop them phones back on. Have them phones back on. Cause it is your boys. Welcome back to Happy Hour, Quick Sixer Podcast. Today's gonna be a fun one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're sponsored by. Oh, I guess I didn't say it. We're
Oh.
sponsored by your boys at Lagunitas.
The boys. Lagunitas. Wait. Lagunitas. You know,
Oh,
I
shit.
got that.
Hold on. I'm just gonna give him the full preview.
Go ahead for it.
Man, we got that Lagunitas IPA. We got that Hazy Wonder IPA.
Oh, I got that little
I guess
something
it's
hazy.
Yeah, it's IPA. Ooh,
Unfiltered, you know what I'm
And,
saying? Just like us, we unfiltered, you know what I'm saying?
unfiltered as fuck. All right, Drew. What do you think? Right or left hand?
Oh, dude. Oh, you gonna switch it up on me? Let me get that right hand real quick. Let me get that
Oh
right
shit!
hand.
All right, we going Hazy
You
Wonder
switch
today.
'em?
We going Hazy Wonder.
I got that hazy
No,
too.
it's backwards for you. You can't. You just.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everything
All right, so
backwards for
Hazy
me.
Wonder is what I'm going with. Yeah, and of course, drinking from that Lagunitas glass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
That large mouth.
Large mouth.
Large.
It's
you
my
know what I'm
favorite. It's
saying?
my favorite glass. It's on rotation heavy in my house. Heavy.
Is it?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
And it's not a it's not a bottle, but I will be popping that bottle with that.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
soon enough.
ooh.
Soon enough.
That Lagunitas joint.
We'll go ahead and get you that ASMR look real quick.
I'll get it.
Oh, you know that
Hold
special
on.
sound.
Let's see. Ooh.
Oh, that's our favorite.
Ooh.
That's our favorite. I'm gonna go ahead
Look
and
at
pour that for you,
Look
boy.
at that.
I scooshed out. I scooshed out.
That's nice, huh?
Uh huh. Ooh, this hazy.
Got
You know,
nice
this
little drops.
Go ahead and tell me about your beer real quick before I tell you about mine.
Okay. Well, this is that Lagunitas Hazy Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have the page of it pulled up right now. 'cause
Oh,
I wanna
please
talk
tell
about
me.
it. I know. It says ferment full of fabulous Sabro, Citra, and Cashmere and Comet hops. Smooth tropical fruitiness. It's a 6.0.
Ooh.
It says slightly bitter, densely hazy phenomenon that's strangely light in the mouthfeel, keeping you satiated and still coming back for more. And I gotta say, this is the second time I bought this beer, and straight up the first time I almost drank the whole 6-pack in like one day.
Oh,
like within an hour. Like
Oh,
I was like, damn,
you
just
you
throwing it.
love this stuff.
It's just good. It's smooth. I'm gonna get you that smooth. Ooh. You know, I've been looking forward to this. Tell me about yours real quick.
All right.
Then we're gonna give some roll calls real quick.
Oh, did you tell me the alcohol content of yours?
6.0.
All right, this is that little something hazy,
Ooh.
unfiltered, right there.
Oh,
you
shit.
got your dogs on there. You know,
Yeah.
you know how they advertise their 12 packs or 6-packs like a gang of 12 or like whatever. You ever seen those boxes? It's crazy. It's funny. I'm gonna go ahead and hit you the alcohol content though real quick, because this is it's very curious how it is unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? I think it's probably gonna be higher than it normally is. Oh, they secretive. Oh no, they not.
Oh, secretive as hell.
7.2. Oh,
Is
got
that
a
what you
heavy 7.2.
Oh no,
That's not a breeze. That's gonna be funny for me in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Bruh,
They got.
bruh.
Oh, I got some specs for you. Got a ABV of 7 right
Oh,
here.
you
on
got
the,
okay.
on the website.
Yeah. Little something hazy.
Yeah,
is
it
what you
got
got?
a little something hazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
And
Drew
it's
got
a
the
limit.
7.
Here's the thing. It's a limited release. So if you're trying to get that good hazy unfiltered, you're gonna have to check it out right now. You know
Go
what
ahead
I'm
and
saying?
get there.
I will
Yeah.
say this. You know, I popped into Vines to get this, get a couple different kinds of Lagunitas to see if I could taste them. Bruh, sold out. Like you can't find like little singles of Lagunitas. You can't find like.
No.
I saw a mixed pack. Like they were selling a mixed pack of Lagunitas, and I was like, "Ooh, let me check that out." Went all the way to the back, couldn't see nothing, cause you know why?
Shit.
The boys took them. Everybody's trying to get some Lagunitas.
Bitches, you know what I'm saying? But I love that supporting that Lagunitas. So speaking of supporting that Lagunitas, they were kind enough to send us. They've been sponsors in the past, but they're kind enough to send us these dope shirts, Lagunitas little something. Thumbnail, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
I love this. This is actually, I think, one of my favorite shirts that we've ever gotten.
It feels like more like produced.
Feels broken in. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like they thought about it.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but it's got like decal or like logo shit on the
Mhm.
front and the back. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
it's
pretty
got
sick.
design all the way down. It's like not just a square. Like they thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
It's
I really
nice,
like
too.
that vintage green, that
That
army
fade look,
green. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, love that.
You
Love
know,
that.
like I've been to war.
Oh,
You know what I'm
in the
saying?
war with these beers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, straight
In
up.
the war with this alcohol.
You know,
So
it's an uphill battle.
it's bruh. So uphill battle, we keep falling down. So speaking of Lagunitas, though,
Go ahead.
we gotta thank the homies.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you a quick little rundown of what Lagunitas is all about. So, like we said, from Petaluma, California, that's up like close to the bay, or I guess the bay. I guess you could say
Okay.
pretty close.
You know, we not geographers. We don't
Nah,
really know.
right, bro. I ain't knowing no geographies.
You know what I'm saying?
Geographies is not my thing. So, started by Tony McGee.
Yeah.
It's named after. It was originally started in Forest Hills, California, which is a place. The town next door is called Lagunitas.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, that's a dope
that's
name.
dope.
I'm gonna use
Go
that."
ahead and take it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Shout out to Tony for starting this shit. 93, bruh.
Mm.
6 years old when that shit happened. So
Yeah.
what up? Yeah, but we also need to shout out the homies, you know. So for this particular round of swag that we got, we shout out the homie Sarah Jane Wiseman. She's the new beer fairy of Lagunitas, hooking up anybody that you know. I guess I don't know what the criteria is.
Yeah. If you get some beer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Stacy Ship, who's the senior manager of marketing operations, she kind of hooked us up with Sarah Jane, and we gotta you know give a shout out to the old homie Michelle. Novacell.
Moving
She's
up.
the previous beer fairy. No, she moved up. She
No.
doing something else. So you know, shout out to the homies. I mean, we can go a quick little story about Lagunitas.
Go ahead.
Drew's talked about it before, but happiest day of my life, maybe.
Oh my God.
No. Happiest day of my sponsored beer life. So Michelle had hooked it up and sent us down to her, Lagunitas distributor down in, where was that?
I don't
It was
remember.
like, I don't know. It was some like
It was like
What is-
industry. It was like an industry. Like
City of Industry. That's what it is. Yeah, City of Industry. And I was like, all right, cool. Had no idea what we were getting. And drove down there early as fuck with my little Honda Civic. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know what, you know. I got this slip. Or here's my name and, like, here's what I'm from. And the distributor people gave me a slip. And they were like, all right, well, we'll have somebody bring your order out around back. And I was like, oh, cool. You know, a couple, like a case or whatever, case of beer or whatever. Nah. So Michelle hooked it up, you know. I walk outside and this motherfucker is driving a forklift with a pallet full of beer to my car. I was like,
boy about to piss his pants. He didn't know what to do.
I was like, this is all for me? Or is there somebody else coming? And they're like, nah. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, let me clear out this trunk, you know?
Yeah. Let me go ahead so I can fill it all the way up.
Yeah. So I clear out the trunk, and then I was like, gonna help the dude, and he's like, nah, you can't help me do this. This is labor and shit. And I was like, bro, I'm just getting this shit loaded for me too. God damn. Like, what is going on right here? And so this dude loads my car, and I was so happy about it. I called Drew on the ride to work because I told you this early. So I was riding to work, and your boy blew a red light, and $500 ticket. And I'm telling you, I'm talking to Drew on headphones, and my smile was from ear to ear.
Bruh. You know how
Ear
they
to
sent you
ear.
on the ticket, like a week later or however long, they
Yeah.
send you a picture of yourself. And
Yep.
Pat got his picture with his ticket. And bruh, this is the funniest thing in the world. Like, I know exactly what's going on in his head right now. His smile. His dumbass running a red light. He was so happy.
I mean, keep in mind it is super early. So there was nobody on the road, but
He couldn't think straight.
I couldn't. I was just like, oh my god. And I thought, I mean, it was yellow, and then it turned red right when I was passing it. That's why it flashed me.
Yeah.
But still.
And then it turned out to be how many was it, like 168 beers? It's like how
that
many
sounds about right. It was like 8 cases or some shit. It was
Yeah.
crazy. It filled the whole trunk. So maybe I'll put out a picture
yeah.
on our Instagram or something about this.
And yeah, so that happened, and then we split up the loot. Pat brought some to me, and
give me the loot.
And then I think we told this story before on the podcast, and obviously you know about it from the very last episode, but they sponsored, I guess, the last 4 episodes, really, because we had to try all the different beers they sent us. But that last episode, bro, we went to Target and got a kiddie pool, walked it right across Colorado Boulevard to bring it to Pat's patio, and then we straight up filled that boy with ice and Lagunitas.
It was a glorious day. I was faded, bro. Yeah, don't even go listen to that 4-part episode.
Yeah.
It's hours long. We recorded for like 4 hours, I think.
Bro, it was the funnest time we've ever had, but it was trash. That podcast was just like straight up.
If you're gonna listen to anything from that day, listen to the episode before, because we did an episode while we were up there, and then decided to do finale episode. But the episode when we're up there is actually all right. The last one though, oh god, rough.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into a couple of things, and if we have a quick sip on this episode, Drew, I don't know if you know.
Oh, I know.
With your boy Riley Bray from the Bigfoot Collectors Club, representing, So he might pop in here anytime, but let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and start. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
What I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm taking a little note real quick.
Okay, go for it.
Putting down a note to try to find that picture of me running a red light. So, how is your unfiltered?
Right, it's good, man. I was a little nervous about it because I guess I should, learn about the stuff that I'm drinking. But you know what? Your boy good.
Put yours up to this camera. I want to see the color variant. Yeah, yours just looks a little darker. Just looks like it looks a little darker, but mine got more bubblies in there.
It might just be the cameras.
Yeah, you got more light in your shit too. It's early in the day when you use that. So anyway, we're talking about a few random things throughout the week, and I was watching. I think on last episode I talked about this, about what we were watching, what we were playing, and I told you I'd watched the newest season of Pen 15, right?
Yeah,
it's on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I was watching that, and Pen 15 is a show about 2 girls in middle school, and it just so happens to line up with the exact year and the exact grade that I was in those grades in that age.
Yeah.
So, and it's true to form. Okay, I'm talking the music, the fashion, the everything that's going on is pure early 2000s, like 1999, 2000, that area, right? And I don't know if you know, but Spotify put out a full playlist of what everything is on there, like in that episode.
Oh, sick! I like that.
Yeah. Or in that season. And it got me thinking. I listened to the shit. I was like, man, this shit's banging. Yeah, I don't even care. And got me thinking about, like, damn, bro. There is some, it's weird to say it, but there's some hits.
Some bangers.
Some bangers, some would say.
Yeah.
But not in the way where you're like, this is my favorite song ever.
Uh-huh.
But, like, All right, I'll give you for instance.
Go ahead.
For instance, here goes. Backstreet Boys, Backstreet's Back song.
Slaps.
Right?
Bruh,
But,
pop
like,
music back then, like, it
pop
was boy
music
bands.
was at a peak.
It was at
my
a
dude.
peak, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
And I'm talking like, all right, so it was that, and nowadays it's kind of like funny, but like fun at the same time to hear.
Bruh,
that kind
if
of
it
shit.
goes
like,
up in a club, people still sing it. Like,
Oh, go
people will
crazy.
still, like, I mean, obviously not clubs now, but like, you know,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
before COVID, you go in a club, and Backstreet Back comes on, people will go nuts.
it hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was thinking, well, you know that the end of, what is that? This Is the End, the Seth Rogen in that movie,
Mhm.
when they, and spoilers, they all die, and eventually go to heaven, and guess who's there?
Backstreet.
Motherfucking Backstreet Boys.
Mhm.
And I swear to God, I laughed so hard out loud in a theater
yeah.
that people stared at me
yeah.
because this shit was so fucking funny.
yeah.
And I'm telling you, well, this was also at the ArcLight when I saw that, and I was at the 21 and plus theater, so I
Uh-huh.
was drinking too.
Oh,
So I was
know.
like, oh, bruh, I
Had to.
lost it when that happened. But yeah, it got me thinking. I was like, man, there's some hitters back then. I mean, you got Spice Girls, Say You'll Be There,
Ooh.
song hits. You got Hanson,
Mhm.
Mbop,
Mm.
Lennis Morissette, You Ought to Know,
Mm.
all in the same time frame.
Yeah.
But you know what's the funniest thing about this to me is like some of these acts like from back then, you know, this is like 10 years ago now almost. Some of these acts still are like, yeah, this is their shit. Like they
Yeah.
accepted it. I don't think there's like acts from back then that like just didn't accept what they were actually playing.
Yeah.
So like Hanson will full on just play Mbop like for, you know, they're down with it. They're like,
yeah.
oh cool, yeah, that's our thing.
I saw Alanis Morissette when she went to Arroyo Seco. You know, your boy Pat hooked it up.
Ooh.
I went to Arroyo Seco for the Quick Sixer team. Got some
Yeah.
Instagram clips and things like that for their marketing. And saw Alanis Morissette. And you know what she was playing? Them bangers. You know what she was
bruh.
happy about? Them bangers.
Bruh.
Like,
I'm telling
she
you what
was
right
digging
now.
it.
Yeah, I saw her last year before COVID happened. She was at Music Fest down in Memphis. And I was pumped. I was like, man, this is going to be sick, you know?
Mhm.
And it was sick. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and she would have some beers on stage. I was
Oh,
like, damn,
yeah.
I could get down with Alanis.
You know what I'm saying? You know, your boy was sitting there like, I want you to know. Bro, you be
Oh.
turning into something else. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
You be moving weird. Like,
yeah.
bro, we
You
gonna
know
have
the
some
girl goes
copyright
in.
issues.
Oh, shit. Shit, we about to get taken down right now.
See some persistent, bro.
I know.
Uh,
We gotta get them song right. You know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying? Well, speaking of bangers, I got a banger of a guest for this quick sip. Do you mind if I let him in? Can we talk to
Bro, go ahead and let my
right
boy
now?
Riley Bray in.
Here he comes. My boy coming in right now.
It's the dude.
This the
It's
dude
the
right here.
dude. I got a question for Riley right when he pops his big ass face in here.
Hello.
What is up, Riley Bray, my boy?
What's up? What's up, guys?
Oh, not
Bro,
much. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
you all blacked out. You vampire right now.
What is going on? Hold on. Let's see what I went from
Go
what.
ahead, click that video icon so I can see your face. Or are you not doing? Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my boy.
It's like getting grandpa on the podcast. There we go. Like, how do you do it here?
All
What
right,
is
so
up?
What's up, guys?
nothing,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely. Yeah, we're about to get down with it. So we were just talking about some Lagunitas, some 90s songs. I don't know if you want to weigh in on this, but this is what we're drinking right now. I got that Hazy Wonder,
Awesome.
I got
and
that.
Drew's got
Just a
that
little
little
something
something.
hazy, unfiltered.
What you
I
got
have
right now?
I have the Founders Session All Day IPA.
Right, there you go.
And I
Okay.
actually just ran and got it because I realized that I drank all the Lagunitas that I had in the house.
See, that's the problem. We were just talking about this. I told Drew I bought a 6-pack of this, And I was like, oh, we should do a Lagunitas episode. And then I drank it all. So it was like, I was like, fuck. Well, what are we going to do? You know, it goes too quick. But we were talking about 90s songs and how they still slap. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like, specifically ones like Backstreet Boys, Backstreet's Back.
Sure.
Slaps.
Mhm.
Undeniably. Yeah.
Spice Girls, Say You'll Be There. Slaps.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Baby
Mbop.
One More Time, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Britney
We
still
were just
got
talking
it.
about,
man.
like,
poor Brit, indeed.
Poor
Pop
Britney.
music back then. Pop music back then just worked. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because of our generation or because of how old we were, but like pop music was at a peak,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
all those songs slap. We were talking about seeing Alanis Morissette, talk about how she just
Yeah.
like when she plays her old bangers, she's like into it, still moving, still grinding. Like she's like,
Oh, grinding, bro.
oh,
She
grinding.
ain't
You know,
no
we
Nicki
grinding the
Minaj.
stage. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but do you think? Or this is a question for it. Do you think you said it would maybe be our generation? Do you think like K-pop is that for people now?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, K-pop is huge all over the world. It's one of
Right?
like the biggest
Yeah.
genres right now. I think we
Yeah.
just are getting old. That's all. And so
Yeah.
you gotta keep
Bro.
up.
Why you
That's all
gotta?
it comes
No,
down
bro.
to.
I'm not fucking. No, nah, bro. You can't get me. I can't get behind K-pop. I really can't. I mean, like, I can't tell what's going on. I don't know, bro. It's a very confusing time for me.
You on your
I don't
own.
know.
I'm getting into
Really
it.
am.
I'm a
really
star. I'm a TikTok. I'm gonna listen to K-pop.
You're staying plugged in. You're coming in with your video settings
my
already
God.
turned on.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna hit you with some age right here. All right.
Go ahead.
On Friday, was the 20th anniversary of Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. 20 years
20 years.
that thing came out.
Wow.
Bro, how old do you feel right now? Like, come on.
Old enough to be drinking at 3:00 in the afternoon.
I mean,
Look, this
we
is
talked
normal.
about this in previous episodes.
Riley,
That is
it's normal.
for
Don't
me,
be
bro.
acting like you don't grab a beer at 3:30.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just happened to also be on a Zoom
Like,
podcast with you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. You know, we just, we're just tapped into your life right now. It's all right.
Time doesn't mean anything anymore now.
No,
There's
no,
no
no.
days. There's no time. We
No.
just are existing at this point.
Mhm.
Well,
Way
Riley,
of the pandemic.
to
Yeah.
catch you
Yes,
up a
sir.
little bit, so obviously this episode is sponsored by Lagunitas,
Mhm.
and I know you was telling me that you had a special relationship with them or you worked with them. What's that all
Yeah.
about?
So I've worked on their video crew for 2 shoots. I don't know if you guys have ever been to their brewery, but it's like this beautiful, amazing kind of campus facility. They have an awesome bar, obviously, and like fantastic food. And then they also have this amphitheater where they have a concert series, like these outdoor concerts. And so when the bands play, they'll also do a video where they do kind of like a sketch comedy thing and then a performance video of the band. So I've worked on 2 of those. I shot with Budo's band and with Paul Coffin, and both of the things we did with them were so much fun. Like, I cannot say enough good things about the people at Lagunitas and just like their vibe and general attitude. Like,
Mhm.
it's just such a cool place, and they have such a good sense of humor, and it just seems like everyone there actually really likes each other and is having a good time and like is passionate about what they're doing. They're amazing. So first off, like my first experience, like popping into work with them, I like show up and I meet this guy. Everyone calls him Tambo. I don't even know what his real name is, but
Tambo.
He's Tambo, and he's one of the funniest people I have ever met in my life. And he's kind of in charge of these videos that we're doing. And I walk in, it's maybe, I don't know, 11 noon, and he's just like, why don't you have a beer? And I was like, I don't know, because you're paying me to be here.
Yeah.
Bruh. The rules are that's the difference though. The rules don't matter at a brewery. Like
No,
me and Drew did brewery tour with Quick Sixer, we be going down there like 10, 11 a.m.
Sure.
before they open for everything. They're just like, oh, here's like 5 beers.
Yeah,
Let's just tell me right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, Tambo's like, man, I'm already too deep. Like, you got to catch up. And so,
Oh no.
so it's just like a party atmosphere. It's so much fun, and it's so great for like the creative side of things because everyone's just loose and having a good time, and no one's being too like, everyone's a professional doing their job, but no one's being too like crazy about just sort of like enforcing these things that we think are a part of work, but don't really have to be, like you're saying. It's like these rules are arbitrary, you know.
Yeah.
And we just made some really fun stuff with them. I do have one good story of shooting with Paul Coffin.
Get after it. Let's do it.
So he I don't know if you know who he is. He's like kind of like a modern day Johnny Cash. That's where I'd put him. In the like Western vibe with that kind of like Man in Black kind of edge to him. Okay. He's great, and he's also hilarious. So we'd come up with this thing for him where we were gonna have him do a promo ad. I sent it to you guys for Coffins, because he often gets called Paul Coffin.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, this is like a funny, like, let's lean into this. So we did this shoot with him where he's he's doing all these one-liners that Tambo and Austin Nelson is another guy that I work with on the Lagunitas shoots. So shout out Austin, he's amazing. But anyway, so we come up with all these ridiculous one-liners about how he wants to like earn their business and just stuff like that, like bad one-liner jokes. And we got it all ready for him. And then right before the shoot, we're all set. We've set up a terrible green screen because that's part of it. And
Love it.
we start hearing rumors. We're like, Paul's running late. Like, this might be really tight. So just like everybody be super ready for Paul. Like when Paul gets here, just be on point, be ready to go. And then word starts floating around. Okay, so it sounds like Paul took a lot of acid, and we may have a very short window that we can shoot with him before it kicks in. So he's gonna be late. He's gonna walk in. We just got to get these lines in his hands and just like make it happen, like really quick. So like seriously, like nobody mess this up. And then so everyone's like, okay, and it's getting kind of more serious. And he walks in, and it's like a wild animal has just walked into the room. We're just like, everyone's like, don't make eye contact. Kind of like, hello, Mr. Coffin. I'm totally being normal. This is I'm sure you're normal too. This is a normal thing we're doing. It's a normal time. And so we get through the whole shoot, and he like nails it, and he's hilarious, and he totally gets the joke and just like goes for it. It's fantastic. And then we're kind of like, he's like, all right, like let's see some of that back, and we're all kind of real like nervous and tender, like, oh, you did really great, Paul. And he's like looking at it, and we all kind of like have our distance around him. He looks around, he's like, oh, I'm not on acid, by the way. I was just fucking with you guys.
Oh my God.
And only Tambo had been in on that the whole time. No one, like, so everyone at Lagunitas, everyone on the crew side, we all believed it, and they were just like, he just thought that would be funny. And like create like a good tension.
That's some real shooting. Like Andy Kaufman shit. Like that's like coming in pretending like fucking with the whole crew. Like his audience was just y'all, like just trying to mess with y'all. That's hilarious.
And everyone believed it. Everyone on the crew, everyone on the Lagunitas side, we were all just like, oh God. But that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Just like the fun there and the atmosphere there.
That sounds
good
dope.
time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of beers in Lagunitas, we have that Lagunitas IPA. Is that 6.2? This is that classic. So, Riley, we were talking about earlier. I happened to get this red light ticket because we got so much Lagunitas. We got to go pick it up from their distributor, right?
Awesome, yeah.
And they happened to bring it out on a forklift. And filled my trunk, and I got so excited I called Drew, and this is like 8 a.m, maybe earlier, and I ran a red light. It was like a $500 ticket.
Oh my God.
But the grin on my face was ear to ear, and it was because I had a fucking ton, like hundreds of beers in my trunk, and I was just so excited.
Are you talking about on like a red light camera photo?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh my God.
The one that comes back to you in like a week after you did the
So
and
the
you
worst part
don't even care.
No, the worst part about it was, so my wife opened the mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, why are you so happy in this? And I was like, and I just looked over at the corner of the room, and there's just cases of beer in the corner of the room. And she's like, okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so much. That's funny. That's great.
So Riley, I feel like that's kind of kismet that Lagunitas came back around and wanted to sponsor another episode, and you had a relationship with them, and that's a big part of the reason why I wanted you here. But you're obviously more than a relationship with Lagunitas. We have a relationship as well. we work together. Been working together for a while.
It's an open relationship.
It's an open relationship.
You know, it's porous.
I'm getting in there too. You know,
we're trying to be
as
best
long as everybody's
friends.
comfortable. You know, it's all good. Yeah.
But you do everything. You got a music career. You got film. You working with Gibson. You doing all kinds of stuff. What is like? So, I feel like most of your film career kind of stemmed from your knowledge of music and your producing and all that stuff. Am I reading into that?
You're correct. Yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your music career? That's what I really want to know about.
Okay, cool. Well, I got into music like really young. I just sort of, fell in love with instruments when I started playing like piano and guitar and then drums, like it all kind of around like 11, 12. And then I kind of got more serious, like, 13, 14. And by the time I was like 16, I was like gigging in bars and stuff. And I grew up in LA. So I grew up like playing like, like the Sunset Strip, like the Roxy and the Whiskey and that kind of stuff.
Place for a child. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My parents realized pretty early on that like I was pretty hell bent on what I was going to do. And so like we just sort of worked out this deal. They were like, well, if you just get A's in school, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. And so that was like a good compromise. It was a good way to actually get me to do school. In the end, I realized it was quite smart of them. But so I grew up just playing music, and then continued to do that after I went off to college, and I toured in like a bunch of punk bands and like psych rock bands and things like that. I ended up in a band called Spindrift, which is what I'm in now. And that's like it's like a psychedelic Western kind of thing. We all dress up like cowboys, and we play this kind of like Western music that's inspired by like old spaghetti Western scores. You guys know what spaghetti Western is, yeah?
Yeah.
The Italian Westerns of the 60s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where that's at. And throughout like playing music, I just more and more got into the idea of like everything around it. Like I wanted to play all the instruments. I wanted to understand the technical side. I wanted to be really adept in the studio and produce other people as well. I realized how much I liked playing in other people's bands and producing other people's music as well as writing my own. So I just developed that skill set, and that kind of led into a career for a while mixing front of house for bands. And I would tour around like mixing shows because I just love touring, and when I was not touring in my band, I would tour with other bands and mix their shows. That all just kind of like that led to me to Gibson, which is they sponsored a band I used to be in that's now defunct that was called the Golden Ghosts. And Gibson is what really opened up like the film side of everything for me. They kind of got interested in producing more video content, and I they didn't really have anyone to do like sound, and I've always toured with a camera. Like I just like taking pictures. So I sort of knew my way around a camera. And the other thing about like music is, and like mixing and producing and everything, is there's a lot of just like fake it till you make it, just sort of like confidence. Like the first show that I mixed, I was like wildly unqualified to be there, but I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Like I can, it's preamps. I got this. And so that led me over into the film side, where I started out sort of doing mostly audio and maybe just babysitting a camera, and then just learned my way around the cameras, learned lighting. I learned a lot from old Drew over here, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Let you in on a little tip. Just the faking it till you make it is pretty much how life
universal.
Happens. And so
Bruh, I know both. Like Pat started producing like TV shows and stuff like that, and he started as a PA and was moving up. And like when he would tell me when he would promote or move to a better gig or something like that, I'd be like, "Bro, do you even know what you doing?"
No. Straight up. When I moved to LA, I didn't even have an apartment until I like hit Nevada. Like I didn't have a place to stay at all.
I love that.
And I was like, all right, I'll just fucking live in my car.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
But I mean, that's how you get things done. That's how you get anywhere. And you realize that everyone that has gotten to these positions has done and is continuing to do like pretty much the same thing. Like no one really knows what they're doing. No. You can be as prepared for anything as you can, but when the moment comes, and it's just about doing what you need to do to get the thing done.
Yeah. And Riley, I'm sure. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's either you live up to the expectation or you end up being the president.
I feel like
what happens.
you like as soon as you like, you know this, Riley, when we set up for a Gibson shoot or whatever, we have it all, you know, lit and done perfectly, and all of a sudden the subject wants to stand instead of sit, or like, you know, and it just fucks everything up. Like, but that whole feeling of like not really knowing what you're doing, like I said, universal. And I feel like that, I probably not now when I go into a set just because of the experience, but like, I mean, moving up to any kind of position or doing like, okay, you're the DP of this shoot, or you got to do this. I go on set, I'm like, like what? Wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
It's amazing how fast that moment passes, though, the more that you do it, you know, and that is where you are like truly competent, and you should be there. It's just like a lot of it's just your own self-doubt, you know, just like, oh, I don't know this. There's so many more people that know it's better. And once you get your hands moving and you start working, it's like it just comes, you know, and that's where like the real that's where the real competency is. That's also what
I feel. And also, like, besides the fact of not feeling like you don't know what's going on, you also like feel like at any moment you're gonna get found out. Like, you're gonna be at your client, or you know, the person above you is gonna be like, what the hell? Like, why are you even here?
That keeps you on your toes, you know. Keeps you honest. Keeps things moving.
I feel so.
Honest is not the word.
You mentioned something I'm really curious about, because you said you used to tour with a lot of bands and you did, you know, mixing and all that stuff. Like, and especially with your band now, and I saw you, and you know, you guys rock, and it was sick. Like, I could see like your fan base, like they you know, it seemed like everybody. It's such a weird kind of genre to like try and push to like, because it's just, I mean, there's nothing mainstream about it or whatever.
No.
But like, as soon as you go into the room and it fills the room and the music comes in, it's like there's a vibe, you know. And people, like, when I experienced it for myself when I saw you guys downtown, it's like it fills the room, the vibe's there, everybody's digging it, and like, you're like, why, you know, there should be more people here. And of course, you know, you guys were touring and everything, and you were even on tour right when COVID hit.
Yes,
like you were going on. How many dates did you have?
Oh, I don't remember. It was like a lot, two or 3 week tour or something like that. That was really like such a surreal, bizarre experience. Like, we played in Seattle, like right when all the news was about Seattle, and like my family's calling me and telling me not to go, and it's just like we were in an album release cycle that ended up getting delayed and is finally coming out early next year. But like, that was a trip, man. We played Seattle was like a ghost town, and it was really strange. Like, we were in that venue with like the venue owners and like pretty much just like the other bands and their friends. Like, there was no one and just all sitting around kind of like having a meal. Like, this feels like the band playing on the Titanic right now. We're just like waiting for that moment. Like, and we discussed it as such, and we're like, like, this is like kind of like maybe our last hurrah for a while. We all really felt it coming. And the whole time we were debating, like, do we cancel the next show? Do we cancel the next show? Do we cancel the next show? And then, you know, the stay-at-home order was issued, and it was the moment where it was like, no, this is really going down. And we played in Reno that night. That we announced that was our last show. We were calling the rest of the tour, and you know, it was a surreal experience. And the whole time we were out there, we were like so careful, like masked up and like incessantly washing our hands. I got home and my hands were like all like red and cracked from like just like constant like washing them, because when you're on tour, you're never somewhere like safe and clean. You're always in a public space of some kind, you know, which is part of the fun of it when it's not, you know, a global pandemic.
Oh, sure.
I do actually. I remember in Portland, before it had been announced as a global pandemic, like kind of cheekily in between songs, I was like, so how about that global pandemic, huh, everybody? And it was kind of like this like chuckle in the room, but everyone's sort of like, oh God. I was like, but yeah, so we got through it, and no one got sick, and you know, we had to cancel quite a few shows, but by we got back, and then I was so excited to be home and safe, and everything was all good. And then the day after I got back, my girlfriend was like,
We're pregnant.
don't no, even better. she's like, I don't know if this is just like my allergies or something, but I don't feel that good. And I was like,
No.
Oh, rad.
so I got home from tour and immediately got coronavirus.
Dang.
There you go.
Unlike no one else in the band got sick, so it definitely was from that.
Survived
Yeah.
COVID.
Like,
Yeah.
Or
like
yeah.
Was
really
that-
at the time that it was the scariest.
Yes,
Like-
there were no
really?
tests available. There was very little information available. I think we lost our sense of smell on March 15th, I think, and that, or maybe 16th, and then that day I was like, we were starting to be like, something's really off here, and then I Googled coronavirus loss of smell, and it was like one of the first days that an article came out about a study, and that was the moment where I was like, oh, we have this, like this is happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, thankfully we both had mild cases. We were sick, but it wasn't like any big deal. We didn't have to like go to the hospital or anything. Everything was fine. But there was that moment where I was just like, am I gonna die?
Yeah, dude. I mean, seriously.
That is
on
no
the news, it
information.
felt like that.
Yeah, no information, no tests available. We just stayed home for like 3 weeks.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it was wild. Tested positive for antibodies a few months later to confirm.
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, but
There you go. Gain them
that was
antibodies.
truly one of the strangest tours of my life. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, we were in an album release cycle. So we did an album that I co-produced with Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys, and he's putting it out on his label Alternative Tentacles, which is like hugely exciting for us. He's like a hero to me,
Yeah.
a total punk rock hero. And we were getting set to go. Things were going off to the vinyl plants. Everything was happening. And so we released the record to college radio. And so it's starting to get, because we're out on tour, and it's it's charting on college radio. It's doing really well. Everything's going great. And then it's just like coronavirus hits, vinyl plants shut down, label goes into a holding pattern. Here we all are all these months later. It's been out on radio for like months and months and months, but is not, you can't stream it. It's not out. It doesn't exist. You can only find it on college radio if you call and request it. It's just kind of weirdly old school in a way, I guess. But it's been a
pretty
weird
dope.
year. Yeah, it's coming out in hopefully January. Depends on the vinyl.
Congrats.
We shall see.
That'd be
We shall
sick.
see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just reading about this beer that I'm having right now. Drew, I didn't even realize this last time we had the sponsor, but Lagunitas puts this beer out 5 different ways.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they got so the bottle, the bottle 12 or 6 packs, 22-ounce bottles, right?
Big
On tap, 19.2 ounce cans, the big boys.
Ooh, tall boys.
Yeah, and the 12-ounce cans. I'm like, damn,
Ooh.
this is just
Bruh,
like the
All
know-
can
for them,
IPAs
huh?
is like that's a serious game.
Oh yeah.
Getting
Well, in
loose.
their bio, it says like the homie Tony McGee. This is like the thing that set it out. Like he said, this is gonna be my career type of deal when he came up with this beer. So
Oh, this is like the one. This
Yeah.
this is the one. So like,
cornerstone.
yeah. This is the one that was like this is where we start. Like let's just get better from here.
Yeah.
So before you get on next story, I'm gonna ask you. Drew picked last time, but right or left hand?
Left.
You're a bastard. Okay.
You get another IPA. I have gone on the record to say that Lagunitas IPA is the IPA that pushed me to that kind of beer.
Me
'Cause I
too. Yeah.
didn't like IPAs
Really?
before that.
Actually, now that I think about it, me too. That's the first IPA I really was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I
That's
never
nice.
really thought about that.
It's
It-
even nicer when you have like the Lagunitas branded bottle
Oh,
opener. and,
look at that.
Oh, yeah.
and the Lagunitas glass.
You gotta get that
with a
Lagunitas
little
glass.
cup on the
Oh, yeah.
top.
Classy. Just like at the brewery.
I know, right? No, this is some stuff. So they sent us some. Riley, I don't know if you. We're actually gonna do an unboxing. We started doing unboxings of stuff because people
Oh,
asked. People asked like, oh, so what does it look like when these people send you stuff? And I was like, Drew, we should probably do unboxings. And Drew was like, all right. And he's got the setup to do it. So he did an unboxing of these dope shirts they sent us.
Cool.
And some other ones that we got down the pipe. But this is from the last go. So not only did they send us, did they send us shirts, Drew? I don't remember.
The first time?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think
it's
they
just
did.
the beers.
beers. But then
and
they
the
sent us this stuff
glass
before.
and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they sent us.
I think it was this, and then like,
Yeah.
all those posters and shit. I'll post that eventually,
Yeah.
but.
Oh yeah, they do great posters. Every one of their shows, they do a poster for. They have
super
really
sick.
cool graphics. That their whole visual aesthetic's awesome.
We were talking
Alright.
about that with these new shirts too. It's just like we're digging the whole vibe and like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of. I keep saying it. I can't say like enough good things about them. It's just like it's just a bunch of cool people who actually enjoy what they do, like having fun, and then
So
you know
jealous.
that brewery too is a like scientific work of art too. Like I talk a lot about how like they're fun and they drink and they're cool, but like the brewing side of thing is taken very seriously, and there's a lot of like safety protocols involved, like crazy levels of like pressure and things going on. Like that facility, it looks like it's like for surviving on Mars or something. It's like
It's a state of art.
it really is. Yeah. So
Bruh.
those people aren't drunk, at least while they're working.
Well, debatable. We actually, I was up there. You asked if we'd ever been. I drove by it, but it wasn't open at the time. And so we ended up going to Russian River, which is
Sure. Yeah.
fairly close,
Yeah.
And but I was like, man, fuck. I think this might have been after they had sponsored, and I like had all the shit sitting at the house. I was like, man, I wish I could go check it out, but you're hyping it for me next time, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. When we get back to normal life and those shows start happening again, you guys have to go up for a show. It's just such a good time.
This
I
throuple
wonder,
that we got
like,
going right now.
I wonder what their marketing team was thinking. Like they were like, you know what? People drink beer at concerts. Let's just throw concerts. And just have people come and drink our beer. I mean, I feel like that's like as simple as that, right?
I mean, it's that, and I think a lot as much as they're just like, we like music. Yeah. Like how can we hang out at this place where we work that is so fun to be at and have bands come play for us? Because all the employees are hanging out for those shows. Like everyone's just chilling, like eating the best food, and everyone's just drinking beer. It's like such a vibe.
You're
such
bumming
a vibe.
me out. You're bumming me out so hard.
I know. Oh man,
Like,
you're telling me I miss people.
I miss you.
People.
I miss you so
I miss
much.
you. I miss you.
Literally, the first time you
Dude.
met, I miss you.
I miss you. I miss
So
you
tell
much.
us, we announced at the beginning of this that we're doing a quick sip with you, but we also said you're a key figure in this Bigfoot Collectors Club.
Yeah.
Hit us with the highlights, my dude.
All right. Bigfoot Collectors Club is a comedy paranormal podcast where we interview amazing guests about their personal paranormal history, and we share stories of high strangeness, which are basically actual accounts of paranormal encounters throughout history. And we do that with the high strangeness is kind of like a radio play where I score it with a bunch of like spooky synths and stuff, and we'll have guest voices. We recently did a deep dive on the Roswell crash. That's a 3-part series going really into all the little details, and it's it's a lot of fun with the scoring, and we had a bunch of guests come in and do voices of different characters, and it drops every Wednesday. It's free. We've been it's really been it's amazing to me how much it's like starting to take off, and we have just this incredible audience, and I appreciate them so much, and we love we just love the community that's growing around the show. And we take people's encounters seriously, we take the paranormal seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I mean, I think it's funny and it's a lot of fun. The two hosts are Michael McMillan and Bryce Johnson. Michael was on True Blood. He was the gay preacher vampire. I forget Steve something. Bryce is in that's Michael. And then Bryce is in Willow Creek, which is a Bobcat Goldthwait Bigfoot directed movie. They're both like huge enthusiasts about paranormal stuff and Bigfoot stuff. I'm more like on the X-Files kind of view of the paranormal. I love it. It's fun. It's cool. But I don't really believe in anything. I'll say that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You should check it out. We've been doing it for like 3 years now, which is crazy. And we've had some like really great guests like Craig Ferguson, Paul Scheer, Jen Kirkman. There's so many more. I'm just rambling off the top of my head, but we also have a Patreon. If you dig the show, called The Other Side. That's like a whole other side of the show. And that's been growing recently too. And we're having a lot of fun over there. we recently on the Patreon did a like a bracket, like a March Madness bracket of movie monsters versus cryptids, and to find out who the ultimate champion would be. And that episode was a lot of fun.
So wait, the Patreon is different content?
It is. It's all different content that's exclusive to the Patreon, and it's kind of like a little bit of a more experimental side of the show. That's where we first sort of worked out like the radio play stuff with like more like sound effects and stuff like that, and we also do like deep dives and sort of get into just more our sort of personal thoughts on the matter. Yeah. So it's sort of like two shows that complement each other.
Cool. I just listened. So I'm not gonna lie. I listened to. You guys did an interview with Paranormal Pop Culture, the Den of Geeks. I listened to that interview. I was like, okay, I see what these guys are going for. And it's an hour long. I listened to this thing, I think last week. I was like, all right, just to get to see, I was like, who is this motherfucker I'm about to talk to? You know what I'm saying? I like talking to these randos, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do. We do it every week.
I love it. No, I love talking to randos.
I do too. Man, making a show has been like such a sanity keeper for these times. Like just to meet some people and have a conversation every week and have some sort of sense of regularity to your life. It's helpful.
Add alcohol to it, and then you're just like us.
You know what I'm saying?
I like this. This is a good addition.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It's podcast fuel right here.
That's right.
Do you feel... I'm wondering if it's just us because when we started it, you know, we was just drinking too much and all that stuff.
Faded.
Did you feel that when you were starting the podcast, that like, as you progressed, you got better at like producing and got better at, you know, how you went about making it? Like how do you feel about that?
Oh, definitely. I think when it first started, I like barely said a word because I'm an on mic producer, but they're the hosts. So I was like kind of very shy to the mic. I also was like more tentative with the scores and the sound effects. I was like, but the more we've done it, you just get so comfortable with it. And now we're just, we've really, I think, hit our stride, not to like toot my own horn, but we're just having so much fun with it now. And I just, I think we've relaxed into, we've also become sort of more confident that our audience actually likes what we're doing. Like they want us to do that. We're not just like, hey, look at me. They're like, no, like do the thing. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do the thing. So yeah, I mean, it's become, really like relaxed and casual, but it's funny that like when you think about the people that actually watch the podcast and care about it, it's like, you don't think about that when you're just talking to some people over the internet, or we used to do it in a room, but then there's all these other people all over the world that want to engage with this thing, and like that's just so fun. It's so cool and modern, and it's, you know, it's just, especially in these times when community has been kind of like limited, like it's wild. It's a good feeling. It's cool.
I feel like dude, no, I feel like our that thing that you described of like adding, you know, I'm gonna go with this, I'm gonna be extra about this, put some little bit, you know, that's drinking too much alcohol. Is that for us? So like as soon as we get too drunk and we like start rambling on and say, you know, whatever, I feel like we get the most interaction. Like people want to see us just be ridiculous. But sometimes it just becomes a little bit too much.
Well, that's the plight of the entertainer, my man. I mean, isn't that like the whole deal? Is like you got to go up on the tightrope for everybody to enjoy.
No, plight of the alcoholic, more like it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you've found a productive outlet at least.
We did. I mean, what are we gonna say, Drew?
I just say Pat's the biggest con artist in the world. He just made a podcast all around. He just trying to get free beer. He just found a way to get some free beer.
You know what? When did you ever hear of a guy getting a beer bought for him? Didn't happen. It didn't happen.
That's true.
I found a way to do it. All right. You know? on a worldwide platform. There's I don't know. No, it is. Yeah. It's kind of wild.
People sliding into your DMs like, "Can I buy you a drink?"
Oh, don't even. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's private. You know what I'm saying, Riley?
I'm talking about breweries. I'm not. They just want to buy you a drink. That's all.
The thing is, we be sliding in their DMs like, "Yeah, you want to buy me a drink?" You know, what's up?
Nice. You got to take the offensive.
You know, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
It's very bi. You know what I'm saying?
It's very just. It's just fluid, Drew. That's what it is. We don't even know what we're doing. It's just like all right,
just a
whatever
slippery
works,
slide.
Man. This fits there. It's gonna work. You know. No, like it kind of have. This is kind of sick. We got to shout this out. We get shit for talking about other breweries when we're on a brewery sponsored show.
Right.
But one of our friends, Matt. Yeah, we're about to do it. Sorry. One of our friends, Matt, decided to do a quarantine road trip right now, and he texted us last night, and I was like, "This is some bullshit." Like what he's texting us right now, but we did an episode. Speaking of talking to randos, we had an episode sponsored by Vanessa House Brewing Company in Oklahoma City, and this man decided to go on a road trip, right? He's like, fuck it, I'm going to stop at all these breweries that they got sponsored by. And he sends us a picture of their sign. And I'm like, you just pulled it from Google. Fuck it, bullshit. Yeah. And he's like, no, I talked to the homie that you had on the show.
Told him I was there because of Quick Sixer.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So we got to give a shout out to Matt. I guess from New Orleans, we can say at this point.
Yeah.
For hitting them up. That's super cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
It was cool too because like I sometimes like when these sponsors come through, like I don't know if they have a certain expectation of what's going to happen if they become, come on our podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think like what we want is to bring the community together, like the beer community, like bring people to breweries that they're not used to seeing or whatever.
Yeah.
And we do Lagunitas is kind of big in LA, but people might not know about them. You got Vanessa House, which is really small. It's in Oklahoma City, and it's kind of sick that we had the homie go all the way to Oklahoma City and see him. And they were talking about doing another episode and like coming to the brewery and stuff like that, which we can't wait to start doing again because we say what we used to do all the time, and I know that our fans are kind of like tired of it, but that brewery tour life that we had when the first couple seasons happened, we were going to breweries, we were talking to the brewmaster or the owner or whatever, awesome. And it was so much fun. Like fun to like hear and drink their beer in front of them and like talk about it and stuff like that. So I can't wait to do that again. That's gonna be sick.
You guys are smart. You figured out your live show angle.
See, you talked about pressure though, right? Earlier. Drinking someone's beer in front of them for the first time is like, bro, I'm a very animated face, so like it fucks me up. Like, I'm like, oh.
Like, he does not have a poker face. He does not have a poker face.
There's no poker face. So it is. Don't stare at me. Like,
that is true because people take pride in their beers too. Like they really do. So if you're just like, not for me, like that's like
not once have we asked somebody a question about a beer that we had in front of them, and they're like, hey, what's this all about? Not once were they short of words. Like they were just like, yo, this is why I did it. Like whatever, and they just on and on and on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Luckily, though, we haven't had. Well, they didn't. No one's ever presented us anything that was like too crazy,
Right.
They were doing their their hits, their bangers.
Yeah. They hit bangers.
It's like a festival set. You just play the hits.
Just play the hits. I mean, but like occasionally though, like when we get these mail-in type sponsors, somebody will send us some shit that's like 18, 12, 13%.
Right.
And I'm like, bruh.
You trying to kill us? We're trying to do a podcast. We have to talk.
Like one of our favorite breweries, McLeod, sent us Drew got it for me. Fuck. It was what the fuck was that? Drew was like 16, 17% or some shit.
Yeah. It was too much.
This shit was oil, my dude. I was trying to
once you've surpassed wine, it's like you're just like it's more like a dare at that point than a beer.
I was double dogged, you know what I'm saying? I took it all down. It took the whole hour, but I did it, Triple, I don't know what you have to do
too.
Like triple dogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that shit. By the end I was like, bruh, I think I said it in the episode, Drew. I was like, man, I think I'm fucked up. Like, like, and it was the only beer I had the whole day. I was like, oh god, like, ugh.
Isn't that weird though? Like when you have a set amount of beers that you can go through before you do something stupid.
Right.
I brought
And
4 in the room today.
you know what I'm
Like,
talking about?
You know,
I got-
I'm gonna
same.
be faded, but I mean, whatever.
Not only do I got 4 in the room, but I got Iris over here taking a nap while I'm doing the
Aw.
podcast.
Oh, bro,
Oh.
sleepy as hell. Damn old donk hanging off the couch.
Look,
ain't it?
look,
Dang old
don't
big
worry about
ass
her.
cat. Damn,
she having a good time. Don't worry
Yeah.
about
damn old brown and black looking at.
her. Oh, she just that 2-tone brown girl.
Damn 2-tone Crayola box bitch ass.
Why you checking? Why you checking my cat right
You're really feeling that cat, yeah.
Nah, Riley, you don't know nothing about no Memphis Checkin, huh? You never heard about that, huh?
No, I don't.
Have you ever
Enlighten
toured
me.
in Memphis?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay,
course.
okay. So I'm just gonna let you
Go
in on
for it.
this little this Memphis thing right now. So Checkin, like, go ahead and look this up. Maybe I'll send you a video. There's a good
That'd be
video
even
about
better.
it.
Yeah.
YouTube video. Checkin in Memphis is basically a form of one, I guess, respect, but at the same time, you're gonna get roasted so fucking hard.
Okay.
And it's just a way of life, kind of. You
Yeah.
kind of like grow up with it. And it's either you, in the video I'm going to send you, it's either you learn to deal with it and check back, or you get
fail.
offended and probably get in a fight with somebody. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So-
gotcha.
Yeah. So it's basically, I don't know. It's an art, my dude.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it's a strengthing of character is what it sounds
Oh,
like.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
gotta
I'm
have
the-
tough skin.
I got
yeah,
the
you gotta learn
strongest
you gotta learn to
character,
take it, you gotta learn to reflect it back just the right way, you know.
Bro, I got the strongest character. I'm telling you right now.
Look,
I can see it.
yeah.
It's shining through my laptop
And,
screen.
Oh, I love it. You know, you just.
Oh, I knew y'all be best. As soon as I introduced y'all, I knew y'all be best.
love you.
Man.
Anyway, me and Drew talk about this all the time. He's like, and I mean, it's not even just a thing. Like, my brother would just like fucking rattle off like 50 fucking text messages checking the shit out of me all day, like just for a
Yeah.
9 a.m. like, hey, wake up, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
here we go. You about to get roasted. It's like, I don't know. It's like if someone had a machine gun and just was just shooting you, but it was all hate, you know? But then you gotta you're like, all right, well, I'm bulletproof. Here you go. Here's my machine gun. You know, that's
Right.
kind of like how you explain it, I guess. I don't know, Drew.
It seems like
That's good.
it's maybe the bullets are hate, but they have little love tips.
Oh,
on
it's
them.
love tip. It's
Like,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love
You
love
could-
tipped hate.
But
Like
if
you
you-
don't do that to somebody unless you have some kind of respect to them.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what this
Yeah.
is here.
We talked about this before. So Drew had just moved to Memphis, or not just moved, but he'd been there a minute, and me and him had just become friends. He was at one of my birthday parties. We talked about this in a previous episode.
Okay.
And,
This is my worst story. I don't. Why you bring
I'm
this up?
so excited.
oh, it's so good. So Drew, we're all chilling, drinking or whatever, and my floor was a tri-level house. So you walk into the middle level, and there's a basement and an upper floor. Everyone kick it in the basement, right? And we're all drinking, and my friends started to check this shit out of Drew, like just bad, like bad. And it was the greatest. I mean, I was rolling because I was faded, you know. So Drew had brought his girlfriend at the time, and this girl goes, "Drew, aren't you gonna stick up for yourself?"
That is the literal last thing you ever want to hear a woman
From
say
your
to you. You're just
girlfriend.
like, oh.
And Drew just looks at her. He goes, "What am I?" And bro, that was the worst part. They were
It
like,
was
nothing
the worst.
lost for
"Oh,
words.
can't stick up for yourself, oh bitch."
Look, it got
Like,
even worse than that. Like,
Crushed him afterwards.
it got so bad. I was like, all right, fine. I picked one dude. Is like, I don't know, the one dude
That was killing him hardest.
that was killing me the hardest. And I picked him, and the boy had a striped shirt on. And I will say it exactly like I said it then, and you'll see how embarrassing it is for me.
You don't
I
want
was
to have
like,
water in your mouth.
I was like, well, you look like Freddy Krueger in your striped shirt. Like, like I couldn't. I had no power. I had no oomph. I had nothing, and it was
Not
so
even a
delayed. it was so delayed that like
I bet that got a good laugh in the room.
people no
better. Even better.
it deadened the room. They were so
Oh my
embarrassed
God.
for me.
That's what
they were
they're
just
like, oh God.
Yeah, everyone was like,
And then like Dan was like the guy that I checked. He was like, It just like you could see the disappointment. You can see the disappointment.
it was
You're
rough.
not understanding this game,
But,
are you?
like,
No. He's from that deep Mississippi, you know. He didn't get that.
yeah.
It was hard because
Dude,
like
that's brutal.
I had
That's
just
so rough.
I had just like befriended Pat, and like we were kind of getting on a level where we were, you know, being friends, skating together, all this stuff, and I didn't know that part of his life. You know, he was like, "Hey, come to my birthday party. You should meet all my friends. You'll love them. Like they'll be fun."
Yeah.
And it was a big old setup.
Yeah.
It wasn't a setup specifically for him.
you weren't ready.
It was
You
just
didn't
like
know.
it was just. The thing is, it wasn't a setup for him. It was more of a. I think it was definitely an initiation type of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it was more of a like.
I failed.
Hazing. It was like initiation hazing type of situation, but I think they were also doing it for my entertainment.
Yeah.
So it was like, and I was getting in on it. You know, I got.
It had to.
But it was more of like an entertainment thing. Like, oh, let's just sit here for an
Sure.
hour and check the shit out of each other. I'm talking, this shit doesn't happen like for a few minutes. Like it's like,
It's a whole story. Like you have
you build a
it's an
whole
adventure.
arc of you got callbacks to earlier. And,
oh yeah. It's
multi-layered.
eventually it just ends when you just can't stop laughing, and it just can't, you know, either side. Then it's like a mutual respect thing, and Drew just kind of
honestly,
yet, you know.
I vibe that more than like the West Coast version, which is just like aggressively passive aggressive, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's something you see too, like, especially like in my earlier days touring when you would just like stay at random strangers' houses. Like, in the South, there is a different way that people interact with each other that is like really refreshing. Like having grown up in LA and on the West Coast where everything is, I mean, it's like a cliche to even talk about, but it's like things, are more like kind of like postured and kind of like, you know, everyone's like vibing, you know, and it's just that like that. I like the idea of friends checking each other. Like, I think it's good, and it makes you more prepared for the world. You know, you should be able to laugh at yourself, be able to take an insult, and then be able to say something just as cutting and funny right back. Like that is good.
It's
for
an art.
You.
It's an art.
It totally is. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it is definitely, like you said, Riley, like preparing for like all of the negative shit that's gonna happen in your life.
Yeah, and if you can brush that shit off with humor, you know, like that's the
man.
best weapon. Like that's the, especially like nowadays with all the insanity that's going on. Like humor is like the weapon against like tyranny and idiocy. You know? It really is. That I will open another beer.
Are you drinking the same beer, Riley, or is it different?
Yeah, I just ran and grabbed a sixer.
Okay, so the quick sixer.
Oh shit!
You grabbed the quick sixer.
I did. I actually did go grab a quick sixer.
Oh, that quick promo! Open a quick sip.
You like that?
I love that.
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
Oh man! So I just sent you a very detailed explanation YouTube video. Both of you guys.
Got it.
It's
Got
8 minutes long. Go ahead and watch that. You're gonna get the full on what high school and middle school was like for people in Memphis.
All right.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is like what you said. It's a different vibe and a different like culture type of deal. It's I haven't experienced that outside of Memphis anywhere. At all.
So that's really a Memphis specific.
Oh yeah. Like,
I hadn't heard the term ever before.
Oh yeah, you can.
But
I mean, it's a
hashtag.
hashtag.
With the vibe. Really?
It's a hash. Yeah, Memphis Checkin is a hashtag.
Yeah, everything's a hashtag.
But I mean, there's people's Instagram accounts like built on it. Like it's kind of crazy.
Wow, cool. I like that. Another little corner of America unturned.
There you go.
There you go. You're learning.
He never fails to surprise me.
Yeah. Home of the blues. Home of the checking your ass off. You know what I'm saying?
So if you guys want to check me, you know, before we finish this.
You're not ready yet.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
All right.
You too pretty for that, you know.
Oh, stop.
Checking your ass.
Well, I had to buy my own beer, so I don't know if I'm that big.
Oh,
we bought this actually. So funny story. Actually, here's our positive thing, Drew.
Go ahead.
So me and Drew, this new show, Happy Hour, is based around. We try to bring one positive aspect of life, like during this COVID bullshit, you know. So a lot of it has been like a lot of companies are partnered with the 1%, which donates like 1% of their profits towards what's it called,
like social environmental.
Nonprofit or
So
what?
I know what you're talking about.
Drew was talking a lot in the last past episodes about wildfires and all this shit that's happening in California, and Lagunitas has actually been supporting their efforts. Like I'm assuming with water, we didn't get really detailed about what they actually were doing, but that is literally the reason that they shut down their beer gifting program for this year because of wildfires.
Wow.
So yeah, they're supporting whatever way they can. I'm pretty sure it's, you know, water donation and probably like, you know, helping firemen and whatnot. So
Yeah. Cheers to that. I mean, what a wildfire year, man.
Cheers
it's been
to Lagunitas,
I'll pay for a beer for that. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, and we gave a shout out to, I don't know if, did you can I ask you, did you run into anybody named Sarah Jane, Stacy, or Michelle? Why were you there?
I mean, almost definitely, but I am so bad at names. And so probably. I also,
you know,
as I said, when I showed up, a beer was put into my hand.
There you go.
I met everyone that works there. I had a blast. I'm sure I met all three of them, honestly, but it's hard to say.
Okay. It seems like a very artist household type of situation. Beer in your hand is immediately as you get in the door. Lots of hugs. I don't know. It seems very, very similar to what my life has been forever. So
we stay like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm here to have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
That's all we're doing. I mean, if you're not having a good time, man, you just get your bitch ass out.
What are you
of
doing?
here, you know what
What do you like?
I guess we should talk about. I think they. We should talk a little bit about their beer. And you talked about how cool they are and shit. So I'm pretty sure you can order their beer on their website. So it's pretty dope.
Is it nationwide? Or is it just
about
LA?
to find out. No, it's nationwide, my dude.
I think it is. Yeah.
It's nationwide.
They have so many cool beers. Like,
oh yeah,
and like stuff. Man, going up in their tasting room where they have like everything ready to go. Like, stuff that I've just like never tasted before. And I don't know a lot about beer. I wish I knew more, but they do something with hops that I've never experienced before. Like, so, you know, like they have the hazies and the, I don't know shit about beer. Your audience is like rolling their eyes at me right now.
No, they probably not. I think they're more in it for like how stupid we are. Yeah.
Okay, cool, good.
I think they're
but
more
yeah, I mean, they're
you
like
don't understand
fucking...
how much we get called out for how stupid we are.
Okay, good. I don't know shit about beer, but these guys are like scientist artists with what they're doing over there. So I don't know. Also, oh man, I wish I had time when I ran out to get my quick sixer. But have you guys had their weed beer?
No.
What's it called?
I don't know what they call it, but they have one that's like THC and one that's half CBD, half THC, and they have another one that's like a sparkling water just infused with hemp. So it's just like nothing. It's like drinking like the greatest La Croix flavor that could possibly exist, but it doesn't like do anything. It doesn't mess you up or whatever. But those are nice. I had a case of those when we were on tour once, and I was like, you just put those in between the beers to kind of like space the night out.
Yeah.
Awesome. But man, they're weed beers. Like, you want to talk about things that slap? God damn, those slap. They're so awesome. It's like perfect. Just like you just like work one of those in like after like 2 or 3 beers, just one, and then it's a perfect crossfade. Not an uncomfortable one. Just right. You know.
Question.
Really good.
Question.
Really good.
If you have one of those beers, are you inclined, or do you feel like you should have another regular beer, or are you good for the night?
I would usually follow that up with a regular beer. The problem with the weed brews is they're so good that I just like, I finish one and I'm like, oh, I could do one more of those. I'm good. But like, don't
Don't.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
That's what scares
That's why you
me.
switch back. You switch back to another tasty beer, then you're good to
When
go.
you're sitting here putting weed in different things like beers or gummies or chocolates or whatever, or like little brownies, that's where it gets dangerous, because if it tastes good, you know,
Right.
you gonna get
Especially as you're getting more inebriated and you're like, this is great. And then
Yeah.
caveman brain comes out and is like, more of that.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Bruh,
So-
I don't know what I would do.
I know what you do. I'm about to tell you what you would do. So you can order their beer through Drizzly, just so you guys know, nationwide. And I'll tell you what Drew would do. Drew told the story on last episode, but Drew got too excited about this beer that we were having. He had some residual beers from a sponsor,
Look,
and he was just sipping because shit was nice, you know, like what you're saying. Like you have a wee beer after a couple beers, and my man just sat up one sec and was faded as fuck.
look,
Had to throw
I'm
up. Had to
telling
do
you.
the whole.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you,
I
here's
know.
the thing. When you're used to Stella's, when you're used to like a normal ass beer, and then you get these like 6 or 7, you know, whatever percent alcohol content, and you
Yep.
just start throwing it back 3 or 4, you realize you ain't playing the same ball game.
You're really not. You're
Yep.
really not. You in the majors, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a whole different. whole different.
There's
You
a
ain't
whole
hitting
different
T-ball
thing.
no more.
And Riley, you know this story because I told you when we were shooting at the studio in Pasadena. I
Okay.
won't say for who.
Yeah.
But do you remember when we were in Pasadena? We were shooting, and that was the day after, and I was sitting there filming,
Oh,
and I was like, fuck, I'm about to pass out, like in the
remember
middle of
that,
this
yeah.
interview. And you know what? The guy that we're interviewing, I was like, he would say a few lines or whatever he was saying, and then he was like, "Man, is this boring, y'all?" And I was like, "Oh shit, he sees me." He sees me like,
yeah. I remember that moment fully, and it's like just you, just like, oh god, I'm gonna die.
dude, I was struggling, and I have never been that irresponsible because like I don't do that. I don't
It
usually drink
snuck
before
up on
shoots or
him.
anything.
Sure,
But
yeah.
like I thought I could have 3 in the middle of the day and
Yeah.
not be a big deal,
and it just got you.
and it tore me up.
I'm
Oh,
telling
I
you.
was at the
so
shoot,
funny.
and I could not like
I mean,
feel.
all right. To be fair on Drew's side though, like he didn't look at this alcohol
look.
content. Like these are all of them that he had were at least 6, 8, 7% beers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not used to that. So
I'm used
like
to them
throwing him back
4 or
and-
5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not used to that. So like, I can understand how this lightweight motherfucker got like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
You got to go for the Lagunitas daytime one, whatever that. What's that one
Ooh.
called?
It-
Those are.
I-
I just like plow through those though.
I
Like, especially if
grabbed-
I'm out like
That's
in
a good
nature
beer.
somewhere. That's like a hiking beer. You
That's
know?
a
I
good
grabbed
beer.
those specifically
beer.
for this episode, and I tore
4%.
Yeah.
I tore through them, and now I'm not drinking. I'm drinking this. This is what
ah,
I'm drinking because I couldn't leave them in my fridge. They were too good.
I know.
Yeah.
They hit something there with that, and I think
They
it's
really did.
I feel like again that's seems like with them they just make what they want. They're like, we need a beer we can drink all day,
Yeah,
so they made daytime. You know.
yeah.
That's the thing though. The breweries that we've come across that like we've had. All right, so we've had I don't even know how many on this new show, Drew, but like quite a few sponsors that send us stuff, and like usually they send us like their hitters and like sometimes like a special thing
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But we've noticed like some of these are just you can have all day type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like some like not even above 5, like 5% type of shit.
Yeah. They knew while we were doing a podcast, so we could like talk and drink at the same time, which
Oh,
was good.
Speaking of, I'm gonna be
Oh, fade. Riley, you don't. It doesn't have to be Lagunitas, but can you give our audience one of your favorite beers?
I mean, I like really, really, really love Mexican food.
Yeah.
Like, and I
Ooh.
just love like a Negro
A
Modelo
Modelo.
with a
Ooh.
burrito. It's like really just
Love
like
that. Love that.
a great pleasure of life, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's kind of like a basic beer to choose, but
No.
that's like a
No.
moment that I just like a wet burrito and a Modelo, and I'm
Yeah.
like I'm in my happy
That
place.
wet though.
Look,
Oh yeah.
I know for a fact Riley loves those burritos because no matter where we are, if we're in Nashville, LA, San Francisco, wherever we're traveling for our shoots, this boy always goes to
burritos.
Mexican restaurants to find the burrito of his choice.
Hold on.
It's true. I'm
Hold
trying
on.
to taste the burritos of the world, you know.
Oh, I love
Some
that.
are great and some are not.
You know, Riley, we're in the same kind of vein, but we're trying to taste the beers of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So-
Well, they pair really well together.
You don't
yeah.
say. You don't say.
Nothing says like a good night's sleep like a burrito and a beer or a few.
Or a few
Yeah.
beers and just no
Yeah.
burritos. Hold on. So Riley was here when you were here that one time?
Yeah, Riley, I don't know if you know this, but when we were in Nashville shooting The Process, Pat lives in Nashville, and we were hanging out at the hotel, like while we were shooting. and stuff like that.
Drinking.
And drinking.
Yeah,
Drinking
I
at the
do-
hotel beer.
I do remember hearing about the hangout. I wasn't invited to.
Oh,
Ooh.
I remember that. Yeah.
dang.
We'll bring you out next time. We'll bring you
No,
out
I'm just
next
kidding.
time.
I'm just kidding. But I do remember you saying you were meeting up with your friends. And we were
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Pat-
I live out towards that way, so it was legit.
Well, next
Yeah.
time we'd love to have a drink in person.
Yeah,
it will
that'd be
happen.
Great.
Yeah.
We might have to do another one of these in
We'll
person.
get to that airport Hilton.
Oh man, nothing
Love
like
that.
drinking at. Did you ever think you would do so much drinking at an airport Hilton in your
No.
life when
Well,
you
that
set
is-
out on your career? 'Cause
Yes.
man, have we done some drinking at an airport Hilton?
I don't think you know about drinking at an airport.
Bruh, look.
When I was doing shows, it was like a way of life. So
Okay.
man,
Well, go
What?
ahead. I want to say something to Riley. Do you know about airport beer?
oh,
What about it specifically? I mean, I drink
that
it regularly.
There's no rules to what time it is or where
yeah.
you're going.
when
Or
you
what-
get past security, there's no time.
It doesn't. Time doesn't exist. There's no like stigma on when you should have
No.
a beer.
That's definitely true. That's actually another great pleasure of life is like breakfast and a beer at an airport before a flight. At like
4
6:30 in
a.m.
the morning.
Beer.
You know? Yeah.
Well, every time I fly, I send Pat a beer, no matter what. Like I send a picture of it, no matter what time it is, 6:30 a.m. for me, whatever.
Yes.
Because Pat brought up this topic. Like it really does. It's true. Like
Yeah.
there's no time at the airport. There's no stigma of when you can have a beer. There's just like, what would you like? And he was like, well, I guess I'd like a beer.
Yep.
And then there you go.
Yeah.
You don't got to
It
worry
actually-
about all these strange ass people who's staring at you. You don't know them. You don't care
Yeah.
about them.
There's a backstory.
There's like a
that's
silent
true.
code when
Yeah.
you like sit down at the bar of the restaurant at 6 in the morning at the airport where they like everybody knows. No one's gonna give you a hard time. Like
No.
they're just and we're all in this boat together. You know, the airport even they just want everyone to be like relaxed and comfortable. They're like, sure, have a beer. Don't be afraid that you're about to be in a sky chariot. Like it's cool.
It's a fart tube in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a
no.
beer.
There's definitely a backstory behind this. So,
All right.
my first executive producer of a show is from Memphis, and it was the first job I had in LA. And of course I want to be friends with her and learn from her and stuff like this. And so eventually, like, she invites like everybody from Memphis to her house and for like a party, but and stuff like once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, like, I started to get to know her and whatnot. We're Facebook friends and shit, right? And which doesn't mean anything, right? So at one point during my stay in California, she posts this thing where she's drinking at like probably just fucking 3 a.m. or something at an airport, 4 a.m, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like says like, oh, time doesn't exist once you pass security. And I was like, huh,
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
hold on. You know what? It really doesn't. Everybody in that shit is from a different time zone. You're just mixing colors, bro. You're trying to figure out what's going on. That palette is fucked. You know, or just get in there, have what you can, go where you're going. That's what it is. So that's where that comes from. So anytime Drew sends me a picture of beers at an airport, it's an automatic love. You know, like that automatic heart. You know, I'm like, love this. You know, and for his bachelor party, which was a mess, but I sent him and his boys. Drew wasn't even awake yet. I was having beers with a biscuit, you know, in the Nashville airport, like a sausage biscuit and a beer. They got a brewery tap room in the airport for Fat Bottom Brewing Company here. So I'm like, I'm going to sit at this bar. You know, you said there's no judgment, but when you're the only one at the bar and you order more than one beverage, there was some judgment, my dude.
A couple glances.
I promise you, there's some.
Oh, still
Honey,
thirsty.
what are you doing? Honey, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, I'm getting drunk.
Don't worry about it.
I'm getting drunk right now. What are you doing?
You're living your best life, is what you're doing.
Right, my life has been living the
enjoy
best.
that flight.
I don't remember that flight. You know, you have a beer before you had any water in the day. You're fucked.
That's why I'll be flying Delta Comfort. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get
they can't question me.
Upgrade.
As soon as I get on the Comfort,
they can judge the shit out of you.
I was like, go ahead, bring it over. And the person next to me is just like, I don't care about you. Go ahead.
Bruh, I'm telling you. So this bachelor party started out in New Orleans, and Drew just had his first anniversary, by the way. So congrats.
Well done,
Thanks.
sir.
Yeah, it started out in New Orleans, and we did a 3-stop tour: New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, and oh man, hurricane coming in.
A multi-city bachelor party that's an ambitious event.
It was. I'll tell you what, nothing was on time. But
I wouldn't imagine it was.
Yeah, except the hurricane. That was on time for sure.
Bro, I flew into New Orleans while there was a hurricane coming. And like half of the people that were coming to New Orleans were like, nah, I'll pass it. And I was like, well, I already had 2 beers. Like I was on the plane. I had bought service so I could text people and tell them all this stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? I don't give a fuck about that hurricane. Fuck Hurricane Karen. I don't care. I'm coming, you know, whatever. And then we get to New Orleans. Not only did like half of my bachelor party not come to New Orleans, but half of New Orleans wasn't in New Orleans.
No.
Right.
Because they had heard that this hurricane was going to tear the levee down again. And like everybody was scared that it was going to flood the city. And I'm sitting here like, I'm getting drunk. Like, I'm seeing my friends. Luckily,
here comes Hurricane Drew, man.
Yeah.
It came through. And, you know, the best part was me and Drew. So, shout out to Matt again. Matt is the homie that planned that section of the bachelor party. Yeah. And they basically shut down bourbon. So we're like, all right, what the fuck are we going to do? And he was like, oh, we'll go to these breweries, we'll go to this room or whatever. And the next morning,
damn,
the next morning, I was hungover.
I mean, it's like per usual. Like if you're gonna go hard like that, it's per usual. You know?
Well, I know, but you don't go hard and then do a road trip. Like, it doesn't.
It was the multi-day excursion.
Yeah,
that's like. What you're describing right now is like day 4 of tour, where you're just oh God, I'm not going to survive this. Yeah.
That's like
you kind of got to recalibrate a little bit, and you're like, okay, I got to pace myself.
That was like any traveling show I ever did. You're like, oh fuck, I'm gaining weight pretty quick.
Right, especially you guys doing like brewery tours, like going and doing episodes like that. Like, I mean, it's a whole different type of athlete. Is what it is. You gotta train yourself to perform.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Real beer strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's
actually, you know what's funny about that? You say that we went down to the southern part. Not southern part. That's fucking Southern California. So, fuck, where was that, Drew? We did some breweries that were like lower Los Angeles County, and we decided like Newport, I think, type area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and we're County. Like, you know what? we're just gonna get faded at these breweries, and then we're gonna go to the beach, and then we're gonna be at the beach. I can't even tell you how fucked up we were at these beaches, but we shouldn't have been swimming. That's for sure.
No, no, we straight up would have died.
Yeah, the beach is actually could be like a really terrible place to go when you're drunk because you're just gonna end up like sunburned and like dirty.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
like
the thing
it
is,
seems like
like-
the best. Like, it's gonna be so relaxing, but like you have no supplies. You don't have a towel.
That's
You don't have
true.
sunscreen.
No, we did.
End up in
We-
like
we
wet
planned.
jeans and
No,
like
no.
a bad farmer tan.
No, we planned for it. We were like,
you
we're
did?
gonna get faded and
Okay.
go.
Oh,
But
okay.
the
if you
worst
if you
part-
plan before the fade, then this is a different story.
The worst
problem
part,
is getting in
though-
the water. That's what's scary.
No, that's not the scary part.
You sitting there body surfing, drunk is.
You just
that's
like
what
a
I'm talking
dead
about.
body, honestly.
Just
but-
sitting there doing
I mean,
Weight
it's like
pushing
a
your
body
shoulders.
washing in. You
the
know,
undertow taking you in.
like,
you
okay,
know what to
you know,
do.
go ahead. You know,
That's cool.
no. The worst part was like, no, I guess it wasn't the worst part. The thinking behind it was, all right, if we go swimming, we'll get more sober because it's working out. We're gonna sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thinking.
Yeah. Dangerous activity to get sober is never a good plan.
Well, it was the only plan, Riley. Don't judge us. You know,
I mean, I've definitely jumped in cold water to sober up. I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm just saying, in retrospect,
Yeah.
nothing like a cold body of water to knock some sense into you, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So, shit, we should reel this back in. We went on a tangent.
We
Oh,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Big tangent.
Big tangent. So, we were talking about doing a little collabo with the BFC.
Bigfoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We refer to it as the BCC,
BCC. Okay.
Bigfoot Collectors Club.
Okay.
BFC like Bigfoot Club. Is that what you're going for there? I like that.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we
maybe
don't know
I
what
should've
we're talking
said it.
about.
We're
BCC.
talking semantics. It's the BCC. Lay it on me. What are you
BCC,
talking
Bigfoot
about?
Collection.
We were talking about doing a collabo episode with all the homies. What do you think?
the hosts.
When
I
we
like it.
thinking?
I like it. I've talked to them about it. They're super into
They're
it.
down.
Yeah.
Should we open
Bryce
another beer to discuss it?
Bryce does not drink anymore, but he used to drink more than all of us. Hence the not anymore.
I
But
see.
he's down to drink some non-alkies and hang out as well. And he very much encourages the consumption by others. I think he has a vicarious sort of sense about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fun. What does he?
Yeah.
This is interesting to me. Have you seen? There's a lot of non-alcoholic beers at the store now. So like, I don't know how down he is, but like, is he? You think he's down for that?
Oh yeah, 100%. He loves non-alcoholic beers. He's
Oh really?
like Bryce is like married and has kids and is
Yeah.
being a good boy now. But like, in the deep heart of Bryce, he used to refer to his apartment in Hollywood as Club Bryce. I think
Yeah.
that could like kind of give you an idea of like the core of Bryce, you know. So like Bryce is down for the party. He's
Cool.
just
all right.
he's just
All
not
right.
getting drunk anymore.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, we are excited to have them on the show and hear about their podcast or y'all's podcast,
Mhm.
and try to introduce them to our world, which is a lot more casual. Because I've listened to your podcast as well, and there is a pretty strict format. Like it makes sense. Like everything kind of flows together. When I look at our podcast, I'm like, bro, what are we doing wrong? We're just straight up too casual, just talking, getting too drunk and whatever. But
No, it's like, you know, like we're like a rock and roll song. You know, we got verse, chorus, verse. You guys are like bebop, free jazz. You know, you're
that's
just
what
like
I'm talking about.
just getting
Well, I
loose. This is
love
some-
that reference.
Some
Right,
bitches brew. You know,
I'm
Yeah.
jazz as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I got a little blues in there, a little jazz.
Go ahead, hit me with some jazz. You know what I'm saying? Oh damn! Ooh, 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 ooh.
We make you dumber the more you listen to us because
Ooh, I
there
just
is
wanna-
a true fact that
What's the
the
fact?
longer that the episode goes on, the dumber we get.
Ah,
You know,
that's
there's never been a more
science.
true thing that Drew's ever said. This I gotta say, bruh. This I had to look what it's called again. You know, you a little faded. You know,
I know
that
you
hazy
faded.
wonder.
You know, I know you faded.
Mm-hmm.
It's
How?
1:45.
My eyes? Do I look
It's-
more?
It's been an hour 45 and you still rolling.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. And my wife
You
said. My wife said before that she was like, "Your bitch ass can't do a under 2 hour podcast." And I was like,
Oh.
I think I can. You know?
I like how you guys were like 30 minutes, and I was like, I'll see how many beers I can drink in 30 minutes. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's usually how it
30
works.
minutes,
you
my
know?
eye.
Your quick sip turned into that long sip.
You
That's
know,
how I do. That's how I
You know,
do.
It's
you know?
like it's how
Savor.
it is though. You know, we do that thing where we're like, oh, we'll just do it for this long, and then we
Here's
get
the
to
thing.
hanging out. You know, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Pat, as soon as Pat gets faded, he can't stop talking. That's the problem.
it's
with
rough,
it.
bro.
That's
it's
that's
rough.
the our catch
know?
22 of doing this podcast because the episodes just
Did you
last
see
an
the
hour.
Artus 22? Did you say that? What did you
What's
say?
that?
Artus 22?
No.
Like my last name 22?
Oh, no,
Oh,
I didn't say
shit.
that.
Oh, well,
Catch
that's what it
22.
is, bro. You
Oh.
try to
He said cat.
you
I
know,
was like,
you
all
I,
try
right,
to
was
get-
like, I didn't get
it's
it at
descending
first.
now.
you trying to go to sleep before 9 o'clock in the artist household. It's not happening if you're in a group setting. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, bro.
Oh, bro.
I'm telling you right now, you having some deep ass conversations every night of your damn life. Like,
Damn.
Love that. Love
no,
that.
you don't love that, bro. I mean,
You never
when you
been a
go
part
when
of
you
an
go
artist
deep conversation with your
when
aunt
nothing
on some
makes sense.
bullshit, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? I just
you be
learned
trying
some
to
things that
concentrate.
I know. It'd be like,
Huh?
when you learn some shit you didn't need to learn, you know, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
my brain didn't need that. But
In this fragile
sick,
state
you
that
know?
it's now in.
yeah, you're like, this knowledge though, I did not need this. You know,
Yeah.
you know, you're
I do.
fucking, you're
Bruh.
you
Bruh.
Here we go.
what? Your thoughts on a recycled aluminum? I did not need right now. You know,
Yeah.
it gets that
It
weird.
gets too
you know?
much.
Drew's never met my family, by the way. So
I have.
think-
I
not
met.
the full family, bro.
Well, I met the mom and the dad and the brother. That's all I need to meet.
I'm just
A lot
saying,
of
like
family.
Drew didn't get to go to my wedding, and so
Oh,
Drew
that's
kind of
true.
avoided the whole bit, you know.
Um,
And only
That
a
w-
quarter of them went to the
that's a-
wedding, so it was kind
that's
of.
not. That's a rough
No, I think
artist
that was a
situation
life
that
choice.
maybe we shouldn't get into.
That was a life choice I think you made.
So Pat, hit me with that wrap up.
All right,
We got-
cool. So, you know, it's been your boys, Pat Drew Pasley. This nice episode has been sponsored by this dog and Lagunitas Brewing Company up in Petaluma, California.
Mm-hmm.
We had this nice quick sip
Yeah.
with Riley Bray. He been drinking on
Yeah.
that Founders IPA all day. Riley, where can we find you if we ever want to hear your shit?
I mean, you can find Bigfoot Collectors Club. Just look that up. You can find my music with my band Spindrift. We're Spindrift West on Instagram. I'm Peace Drone on Instagram, and that's it.
Love it. Love it. When's that album dropping?
I'd love to give you an exact date, but early 2021 it looks like, depending on the situation of life and everything is uncertain. But it's
You know,
coming.
bro,
New Spindrift
that's
album's
pretty
coming.
exact. That's pretty exact, you know what I'm saying? I expect life to be a certain way early 2021, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's all
So,
just cling to that desperately.
You know, I'm just clinging to, you know, I think I might go by the quarter year by now, you know, soon. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, the first quarter of the year was kind of shit, but, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I like that. I
so
like
go
that.
go and check out the first quarter of the year for Riley's new project.
Yeah, it's
um,
sometime in the first quarter.
There you go, first quarter.
But there's plenty of Spindrift albums already out, so go listen to that. Come check
Yes.
out our podcast, Bigfoot Collectors Club. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Watch Gibson TV.
Watch
Oh.
Gibson TV, where I work with Chaboy,
Yeah.
and we make amazing fun shit. I love that job. It's really
Yeah,
great.
that's
I love what we
pretty
do
easy.
there.
Sick.
I'm super jealous of this job. It seems really fun. Drew kind of you tried to get me on one of these things, but it didn't work out.
I tried to, because Pat lives in Nashville and they were looking for PAs and stuff while we were shooting. I was like, man, maybe Pat should go in there, but he got that full-time job.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
That's how it is, But
Mm-hmm.
it's whatever. We got this side gig. It's called Happy Hour Quick Sixer Podcast.
I love that podcast life.
Oh, you love that?
I love it. I love it. That little side life.
It's been that side life, and it's been your
I stepped
boys.
on your tag, and I did
No,
it again.
you're good.
I'm gonna do it
Good.
one more time.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Have your tag, my friend.
There was no tag. I was just winging
Never
it.
been a tag.
No, there's never a
It
tag.
really sounded. You sound like you were going into the momentum
I
of a tag
appreciate
there.
that. You thought I was professional, huh?
I did.
Bro, they ain't not professional about this part of the episode. It's just
No,
always
no.
like, please, let's get out of here before we ruin it.
Bro, I'm about to get divorced. No, no, it's been your boys, Pat Ashby Pasley. Check out Riley Bray's new shit. Bye.
Bye. Bow.
Bye.